Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are tonight on a special episode of Invest 360. I'm your host, Joe Dominic, and I'm here with Carlo Vitale. And tonight we have a special guest, none other than Big Time Tommie. Big Time Tommie Romola, larger than life Instagram sensation. But before we get into that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Invest 360. For those of you who know, you know that this was supposed to be a live event to encourage people to invest in their communities, so forth. And like most things during the pandemic, we had to pivot. And we just started this program to help people and inspire them to inspire themselves and others and do a bunch of different things. So tonight, and we're going to talk to Big Time Tommie. We're also going to talk about the backbone of our program, which is called Happy Smiles. And Carlo, my amazing co-host, take it away.
Guys, what's going on? Joe, it's always great to see you every week. Big Time. It's a pleasure to meet you, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Nice to meet you guys. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. So, guys, yes, Invest 360 and Happy Smiles. Happy Smiles is the backbone of this event that we're doing here. And Happy Smiles came about through our kindness, right? We saw that there was a lack of kindness out there, and the little things that people are doing out there, or the lack of the little things that people are doing, and we saw that void. So we wanted to fill it, and we started Happy Smiles. We started giving out blankets, socks, and different things that we saw that were in need, and then we started seeing that people needed that kind word to get them through the day, because you never know when that one word is going to just change their life, or that hello, or that hug. You just never know. So that's what we started Happy Smiles, and we're a 501c3 organization. We do this through fundraising, education, and charity, and we're happy to do it. And we do take in donations at Venmo at Happy Smiles Inc. And with that, we put that out there to the communities and help everywhere and anyone that we can, guys. But tonight, we are here tonight with Big Time Tommie Romola. Romola, thank you so much for being here, man. How's it going?
Thank you very much for having me here. It's amazing. Thank you. Everything's doing great.
That's good. That's good. Well, listen, I want to start off. I just want to talk a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Okay. Born in the Bronx, brought out to Long Island by 5-6 years old to start off kindergarten. My parents thought that it would be a good idea to bring me to Long Island so I could stay out of trouble. Little did they know. So I started off, and I was raised in Long Island, and I live in Bayshore, Long Island.
Cool. So going through the years, growing up, we know you've been on some reality shows, including Carfellas. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell the world a little bit about that and how that came about.
Okay. Well, actually, at the time, I was living in Florida, in East Coast of Florida from 1996 to 2009. And what would happen would be Florida is so freaking hot. June, July, August, September, October, you're dripping. So I would come home to New York where it was a little bit less hot, less humid. Plus, I had my family and my friends. And for the first bunch of years that I was living in Florida, I wasn't coming home. And I said to myself, I miss everybody so much. I would come home and spend the summers. And then there's one summer, my friend Mikey D and my good friend Mario had a used car lot over on Route 110. And I went over to start hanging out there, during the day. And we got the barbecue over there, and we started barbecuing. And it became like a summer spot, where to hang out. We would, again, it was Mike's place, and I would always be the one sitting outside, tanning and smoking cigars while they were in the office. So I was the face that people saw when they walked on the lot. So they would ask me the question first, hey, how much is this car? And after a while, I started learning the prices of the cars. And Mike would be like, "What's he out there talking to customers for?" And I would end up selling cars outside while I was canning and listening to my boombox in the radio. And all of a sudden, we ended up becoming partners. And we ended up, me, Mike, and Mario, Mike, Mario, and me. We had a friend named Robert Masseri. And what he did was he had Rebel Inc., Rescue Inc. on National Geographic in the Animal Planet. And that was the TV show that they rescued pit bulls, a bunch of big tattooed guys, and from Howard Beach and all over New York. And he says, you know what? This is a great dynamic. You've got Mario that's, very into paperwork and smart, and Mike that's, the serious, motivated business worker. And you got Tommie that don't give a shit about nothing outside, throwing people off the lot for asking dumb questions, smoking cigars with suntan oil on, and wearing pinky rings, taking care of customers. And he thought that it was pretty funny. So he told a production company about it. They scouted us out and pretty much watched us from across the street for a little while before they made their move. And they says, "Robert, you're 100% right. That's pretty comical." We made a sizzle reel. The sizzle reel is what other people call a trailer. It ended up getting shopped around. And believe it or not, there was like 7 networks that were fighting for us.
Wow.
And we figured, hey, Discovery Channel's got 13 networks on cable TV. Let's go with them. And we went with Discovery Channel. And, it might not have been our best choice to go with them, but we did. And we thought it was at the time. And what we did was we took over on Discovery Channel. It was American Choppers. And when their 10 years and they went off the air, we took over their time slot. So we ended up taking over the time slot for American Choppers. And we had we had one season, but they kept us on that one season. And they kept on playing our shows for almost 2 years. Then they started putting our shows on to their other stations, which was Destination America and Velocity Channel. And then they ended up canceling us after a little bit of problems that we had with their production and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens.
It does. It does.
But if someone were to look for an episode of Carfellas now, where would you point them in? A lot of people think if they could go on YouTube, but YouTube is just bits and pieces of the actual show and webisodes that we ended up doing from the car lot. You could actually go on to Motor Trend TV, right on Netflix or Amazon, and you can get the whole entire season. But as we speak, believe it or not, it's still being played in parts of Europe and the United Kingdom, and we don't get no money for it. Wow.
Exactly.
Wow, that's...
But you know what? It was a great experience. I thank Discovery. I thank Robert Masseri for bringing the attention to the production company. Obviously, I love Mike and Mario, and I thank them for sharing in that season with me. I'm still at the lot, almost every other day. They switched the lot up from where we taped, which was Broadway Motors, and now the dreams and the aspirations that Mike had was to open up a lot called Hollywood Motors, which is all classic cars from the 20s to the 80s and early 90s. So we've got cars there that'll blow you away. And that's now, instead of Amityville, Long Island, where we did shoot the show, now we're in West Babylon at 859 Sunrise Highway in West Babylon, New York. And it's Hollywood Motors, and you could go into HollywoodMotorsUSA.com and see all the beautiful cars. But thank God for Carfellas, because the telephone number and the website, we've got people from Germany, Denmark, Switzerland, Australia, all over the entire globe buying cars from us. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
So they would reach you at HollywoodMotors.com for the car lot. And what was the other one? Motor
Trend TV.
All right, Motor Trend TV.
MotorTrend.com. That's right on Netflix and Amazon Prime.
That's perfect. Now I know what I'm watching tonight.
Yeah, same here. Hey, big time, Joe. Before we get on to the next question, is there one episode in particular that stands out to you?
You know what? I had so much fun doing all 12 of them with the guys.
Yeah.
You know what? And just so you know, what was really cool about Carfellas was that, besides the Pit My Ride that was on MTV,
Look at this
we
comment.
were one of the starting car reality shows on TV before it literally went buck wild.
Really?
Now there's like 30 of them out there.
Yeah.
We started it off. And what was cool was that Discovery said, you know what? We've never done nothing like this before. You guys, we like you because you guys had a check and passed. And now it's a redemption thing where you're giving back to the community one car at a time, selling cars between $3,000 and $6,000. And there were no scripts. Believe it or not, there were no scripts. That's why in the beginning of each show, they had me stand there and give, hey, if you guys don't like bad language, or if you don't, this isn't the show for you. If you're there with little children, put them in the room. So it was, believe it or not, it was TV. What was it, M14 or M13 or whatever it was, mature audiences. And I had to give that disclaimer before each and every show. If I had to pick a show, it was probably the one that I went out to the Hamptons over in Sag Harbor. It's quite different out there. They looked at me like I was an alien. It was funny.
Anthony Jones says that his auntie just bought a car from you guys and they're picking it up on Friday.
Excellent. What car did he? Which car?
Let's wait for him to comment.
Anthony, what did you buy there? We'll see.
That's great.
Are we taking action on this?
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. I say a 90s car.
I say
Sick.
caddy.
His aunt?
Caddy, old school 90s caddy.
No, I don't know.
2011 caddy, he says.
2011 caddy, nice.
Oh, yes. They bought the white DTS, the premium white DTS that we just got in.
Nice.
There you go. Congratulations to your auntie, Miss Jones. Mr.
Yes,
Jones.
absolutely. Congratulations, Anthony, and your aunt.
So, yeah, he
agrees. This episode in Sag Harbor, I don't know if you guys have ever been in Sag Harbor. I never was before this, and I guess that's why they brought me out there. I'm fully tattooed. I'm rough around the edges. I smoke cigars. And those people over there are, like tuna on flatbread and, with their newspaper folded under their arm with little pocket protectors. And it's just it's a different world. And we're still in New York. So what happened was, instead of walking up to people, the production, and saying, would you like to be on the show? They taped from afar. And then after the people went out of frame, they asked, would you like to be in, and they wrote releases to get the people's real reactions. And when people seen me walking down the street, and my whole objective of this episode was, out in the Hamptons, there's a lot of old school cars and collectible cars. And I was in a contest with Mario to buy a car, and who could, find a car quicker, me or him. And when I was asking people, hey, do you know of any cars? These people were looking at me like they were grabbing that pocketbook, holding on tight, walking away. People says, leave me alone. I'm like, I didn't even ask the question yet. You got to watch it. It's real. And it's funny as hell.
I got to watch that one tonight.
I got a question for you, Tommie. So you had touched on something. It's a follow-up before we get to Carlos next. You said that, they saw that you had checkered pasts or so forth. Now, can you elaborate on that? Because
no.
Okay.
No, that's it.
So the reason is because a lot of the people on our show have had pasts as well, and a lot of it has to do with an arc, and not doing it to poke at the past, but also saying there is redemption out there for people. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And anybody, they say sometimes that you have to be at your lowest before you're able to change. And sometimes in order to rise up, you've got to be knocked down. And, there's been things in my past that I've done that, if I don't believe that I make mistakes, I learn lessons. And what happens is the lessons that I've learned, I'm able to be able to morph into bigger and better and positive things. And, I learn from my lessons. Everything that I've always done, I don't regret. I don't regret anything that I've done in life. You have to go through those things in order to grow. And, and I changed my complete life around. I completely changed my life around. And I went from being the person that I was to, and believe it, I've always been like this. The way that you see me on a daily basis, I've always been this way. I now just cut a part of my life out.
Yeah. I like what you said there, that you learn from the lessons, because a lot of people don't, and that, I think that's the biggest concern, is when you don't learn from it.
Correct.
So yeah. Hey, so moving on a little bit, man. Let's talk a little bit about America's Got Talent.
Oh, wow, how fun was that?
What did you do there?
That was 2016. That was with my cousin Sal Valentinetti. And just so you guys know, me and Sal are not blood cousins. We are very, very close. And you guys know as well as I do, when you're very close with people and you grow up with people and you're close, oh, that's my cousin, that's my cousin, that's my cousin. And sometimes you could have friends that you call cousins that are actually closer than the cousins that you have.
Yeah.
So me and Sal are not related by blood, but you're as close as two people could be that weren't blood related. And this all started in 2015 and then went to 2016, where we went to California in March to tape the very first episode. And then, not knowing anything that was going to go on, he ended up getting the Golden Buzzer in that March taping. And holy cow, it was just, I told Sal this, I go, I've had so many incredible things that have happened to me in my life. And I mean, when I tell you things that you couldn't even imagine, and this ranks in the top 3 of literally the best experiences I've ever had. And I was thankful enough to be able to experience it with, somebody as close as Sal is to me. And to be on that stage when Heidi Klum slammed that Golden Buzzer and to just run out there, not even realizing, and then giving him a hug and doing a 360 and being so elated and happy for him. And then all of a sudden, because my adrenaline was so high, as I'm going around doing the 360, my eyes glimpse, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm on stage and there's 3,000 people looking at me right now. I didn't even realize when, and it was just...
You went muted. You there?
Hello?
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Yep.
So that was just such. So me and Sal, after that recording in March, had to keep it a secret from March to April to May until June 14th of 2016, where the episode started being played on TV. And that was the episode that Sal, all 13 million people now that are watching TV. And his world literally changed that very next day. I mean, literally changed that very next day.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. But how was it holding that secret?
Yeah.
That's
a tough one.
It was good because it's part of my life anyway. Being able to hear things and not talk about them. So I was very good at
that. So I want to give a quick shout out.
You guys are very choppy right now.
You there?
Yes, you're very choppy, a little bit staticky right now.
All right. So there's a quick shout out I want to give to my brother-in-law Tommie, who's a big fan of you as well. His name's Tommie. He just texted me and said you're one of his favorite people.
Joey, Joey, I can't hear everything that you're saying is completely chopped up.
All right, maybe it's gonna take a little bit because I think you got muted for a second. Can you hear me now?
What happened was a phone call was coming in and screwed up all the audio.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you all right, Joe. So maybe that's right, Tommy. Maybe it's going to take a second.
So, Joey, you says your brother-in-law, Tommie?
Yes. He just texted me. He says you're one of his favorite people. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Tommie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tommie. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So America's Got Talent. You told us about that. And Sal the voice. Now you're not really related to him. We got into that, but here's a guy with beautiful talent. You were happy for him and everything. So there's not many people and family who understand supporting even.
Joey, I can hardly hear what you're saying.
I hear a lot of crackling.
A lot of crackling. Yes, I was very, very, very happy for Sal and still very happy for Sal. I don't understand something.
What is that?
Wow, what is that?
Is that coming from me? Do you hear me?
Not sure.
Carlo, talk.
Hey, guys, what's going on? I'm going to put me on mute real quick and see if it stops.
All right.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Fuck. No, it's bad. Yeah, listen, there's literally thousands of people that sing Sinatra and Dean Martin, and maybe tens of thousands of people that sing Bobby Darin and all that. But I got to tell you, Sal does it so much better than all the rest. His voice is so incredible. What he does is amazing, and he's got perfect pitch, perfect tone, and with all these people that out there that are good, it's just that Sal's that much better, and he's so charismatic. What's that word?
Charismatic.
I always screw that word up. He's so charismatic on stage. He's so good with the microphone. And even when he's not singing, he could talk and hold your attention and hold the audience's attention and be able to just have a good time in doing what he's doing. And, he's still singing today. He came out with new music, with a brand new album. That is his album. There's a song on there that's going up for Song of the Year, Album of the Year, Best New Artist of the Year. It's just, it's incredible. And I just wish him all the luck. And he's still singing in all different venues. He's got a big Christmas show coming up over in Westbury Music in the Round coming up this December. So if you guys never seen Sal, it's a treat because he's got a whole freaking orchestra there, and he's just so damn good. He's that good.
So my question to you is, can you hear me?
Perfect now.
Okay, cool. My question to you is now there's this thing about support. It's hard to get, certain friends, certain family to support, your endeavors and anything like that, right? How does it feel knowing that you're supporting someone that is making that much of an impact? And how important is that support?
Well,
it's a good question.
First of all, support's always good to come from loved ones. Support's good to come from even strangers that you don't know, and support itself is good. It's good to be having people tell you because it gives you incentive. It gives you something to strive for, something to work at, something to motivate you to succeed and go further than you actually are. And to have loved ones, sometimes loved ones, they'll candy coat stuff and tell somebody that they're good when they're really not as good as, but with Sal, everything that I told him, and he knows how I am. I'm black and white. I say things exactly, the way they are. And I tell people, do not ever ask me a question you're not ready to hear the answer for, because I'm not candy coating shit. I'm telling you the truth. If you ask me how does the dress look on me, I'm going to say that dress isn't for you. Why? Because your ass looks fat, or because whatever the case may be, change it. And I want people to be honest with me, because I don't like candy coating stuff. And, don't lie to me. You could only lie to me once. If you lie to me one time, that's it. We're done. I can no longer ever trust you ever again, no matter what. So as far as, I always told him, I said, Sal, I says, with the talent that you have, just, keep on singing and keep on, aspiring to reach every goal that you want. And, his mother and father are a very strong backbone in his life, his sister, and he's got a very, very big family on his side that are all behind him, and then all the friends that he has. So it lifts you, it inspires you, and support is very, very good, because no matter who you are in life, doing whatever you're doing, you need people behind you to let you know that they believe in you.
I definitely agree with that.
Same.
So a few weeks ago, we had former WWE wrestler on, Mark Mero, and one of the things that he says is, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." How important is it that surrounding?
That's an old school. That's an old school thing.
It is. Right? Yeah.
So how important is it surrounding yourself with a good team? And by the way, he's actually from Buffalo, so not too far from. Well,
Yeah.
it is kind of far, but it's both New York. But so how is it important surrounding yourself with a good team, and what would you say makes a good team?
Well, I agree with that saying 1,000%. I actually grew up with hearing it. What did you say? He said, "I'll show." What did you say?
Show me your friends, and I'll
Right.
show you your future.
Right, and that's just, I was always heard. Show me your friends, and I'll show you who you are. So basically, that means the same exact thing. And believe it or not, I surround myself with. I've had negatives in my life, and you sometimes have to be either burnt by a negative or see a true negative come out. And and what you do is you just eliminate. You eliminate, because I can't have any negative energy around me, and everybody around me actually today, and the people that I surround myself with, because they're not just around me, I'm around them also. And I want to be able to give them as much positivity as they bring to me. And it's very important to have positive people around you, because they are who you are. They represent you as well as I represent them. So if I'm a shitbag and people see me with that person, that they're gonna say, "Who's this guy you're with?" And if they think that I'm no good, that reflects on them. And if I'm walking around with a shitbag and people think that that person's no good, then that reflects on me. Like, if I could accept that person being a shitbag, then what good am I? So I believe in positive energy all around, and the people that I surround myself with, and the people that I am surrounded around, nothing but good people, quality people, people of respect, people of loyalty. And that's one of the biggest things in my life is loyalty. Once that loyalty's done, we're done.
So before we move on, and I appreciate all of that, there was a few questions that came into the comment section. Yeah, so, and I wanted to touch on them because we do love the engagement and so forth. So Charles Kaplan told us to ask you about the 2003 World Series.
All right, so Charlie Kaplan is a friend of mine. What's up, Charlie? That I haven't seen in many, many, many years. And the 2003 World Series was when I was living in Florida. The Yankees were playing the Marlins, and I happened to get tickets for that World Series that were where I know that they were good seats because they were very expensive. Very expensive, but I mean, the price that we got them for was even half of the expensive rate. So me and Charlie is sitting behind home plate. And the next thing you know, he's turning around, looking around, and he's like, all them ladies in back of us all have Yankee diamond encrusted charms around their neck. And he says, wow, your charms are beautiful, your diamond Yankee things. And they says, thank you very much. He's like, can I ask where you got them from? And all of a sudden, we realized after that it was Jason Giambi's girlfriend. It was like Jorge Posada's wife. It was the New York Yankees' wives and girlfriends, and they all had, I guess, the same medallion given from their boyfriend, husband, fiance, or whatever. And all of a sudden, I was like, Charlie, holy cow, they're right in back of us. And then I realized that sitting to my right-hand side was Gene the Stick Michael. You know who Gene Michael is?
I heard of the name, but
he was a shortstop for the New York Yankees.
Okay, all right.
He was one of the higher ups in the organization, and he had the speed gun that would literally, count the speed of every pitch that came through.
Yeah.
And Brian Cashman's assistant was right next to me. So all of a sudden, I look over and I'm like, "Holy shit, it's Gene Michael!" And I look down and I'm like, "Wow, that's a nice World Series ring you got on to Brian Cashman's assistant." He goes, "Oh yeah, thanks." He goes, "That's from the 2001 ALCS." And I said, "Can I see that?" And he gives it to me, and I put it on my finger, and he never asked back for it. And so I had it on there for a while, and I'm like, "Holy cow, Charlie, this is a big ring." Well, and I says to the guy, I says, "This is a nice ring." I go, "Here, have it back. I've had it on for 10 minutes." But Charlie, all he did, he was a cigarette hound. And every half inning, he would get up and go up the ramp and go smoke cigarettes in the smoking section. But every time that he left, I got big legs. So every time his seat went up, I was able to open my legs and be comfortable for just 2 or 3 minutes. There was a guy that kept running over from another section and putting the chair down and catching my skin in the leg of the chair. And this happened for 3 or 4 innings in a row. And I didn't say anything until the skin finally broke, because he just kept on coming over and sitting there and talking to the woman in back of us. And all of a sudden, it was the 4th time, the skin just broke because it was turning purple by the 2nd time. And I lean over to him. I says, "Guy, if you come back here again, I'm going to break your arm." And all of a sudden, he looks at me, and he got scared to death. He must have whispered something to the woman in back of him, and he never came back. But security did, and it was the New York Yankees security. And they said, "Excuse me, those I need to see your tickets." And I'm like, "No." He's like, "We need to know why and how you guys got these seats here." "What do you mean? I bought them." "From who?" "I ain't a rat." "I don't know, somebody in the parking lot. I got him from a good friend of mine in Coral Springs." And he goes, "From who?" I says, somebody in the parking lot." He goes, "No, you're not supposed to be sitting here." I says, "How would I know that? I got 2 tickets, me and him." And he says, "Yeah, well, you're sitting in the players section." He says, "And the guy that you threatened, that you were going to break his arm, he was talking to Willie Randolph's wife, Gretchen Randolph." And he goes, "If you would have just shut your mouth," the guy, he goes, "I can't get you out of there because you got real tickets." He goes, "But I can let you know that if you would have just kept your mouth shut," he goes, "at the end of the game, the whole section would have been, it goes downstairs into the locker room and gets to go down with their husbands, their fiancés, their boyfriends, their cousins, their relatives." So if that guy never put that seat down, I blame Charlie for the whole thing. Because if he didn't go to smoke his 35th cigarette, he wouldn't have let the seat go up for me to open my legs. For so I ended up threatening this guy. He was Willie Randolph's wife, Gretchen Randolph's friend. They ended up calling security, and he says, "If you would have just kept your mouth shut, you would have been down in the locker room at the end of the game." So Charlie still holds that against me.
Oh man.
All right. So
That's good.
That's one of the fun things that have happened to me in my life.
Tommie Arcasi
Tommie Arcasi
says, ask Big Time Tommie about his 1985 Cadillac Biarritz convertible.
Biarritz, yep.
Biarritz convertible, driving up and down Deer Park Ave. Guy was the cat's meow.
Just so you know, I think you pronounced the last name Arcese.
Okay.
Arcese.
Arcese. All right.
Yes. My very, very first Cadillac that I had was I got it when I was 19 years old. Was a 1985. I bought it from the second owner. 1985 triple white Eldorado Biarritz convertible, and I still literally have that car today. It's got 76,000 miles on it. It's made 3 trips back and forth to Florida. I cruised Deer Park Avenue, which is 231, and I cruised 86th Street with that car for back in the day when you used to be able to cruise. And it's also going to be with me in the documentary movie called Cruising 86th Street, which is coming out next spring with Willie DeMeo and, you know, everybody else.
Nice.
Cruising 86th Street.
Cruising 86th Street.
So, I mean, that's amazing. Like, there's always something new that like you come out. Like, Carlo, what do you think?
What I think about coming out with stuff new?
Yeah.
I mean, I like the one we were talking about before. Can we talk a little bit about that?
What are we talking about?
A little bit of vino?
Yes, you guys can definitely talk about that. Absolutely.
So Big Time Tommie's got his own table wine coming out. I think he said it drops next week, right?
It drops next week, right? Hopefully by the weekend, Friday, Saturday. Those are the tentative dates. I was with a wine company for 1 year as the ambassador, not the owner, but the ambassador and the face of. And I made that person very rich within those 12 months. About 3 weeks before that July came to be for me to renegotiate and sign my second year of contract, I got a very cool phone call from somebody in Florida with a very dear friend of mine. And they says, well, just like food and just like TV, there's Nielsen ratings and Zagat ratings. There's also wine ratings. And we saw that you definitely sold a lot of wine. This company sold a lot of wine, and we know that it was because of you within this year. We'd like to offer you your own wine. And I says, what?
Wow.
And they says, yes. Wouldn't you like to be able to, instead of padding somebody else's pockets, pad your own? And I said, absolutely. So I says, talk to me. And, it was probably a couple of weeks worth of back and forth and me hearing what they had to say, and then me tasting the different wines and finding out, the region where the wine came from, a little bit of a history about wine, more so than I didn't know. And I now have 3 different wines coming out. They'll be out by next week.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Amazing. What's the name of it again?
I did not want to come out with one wine and just be like, oh, okay, and be like a one-trick pony. And I knew that coming out with a white wine or a rosé in the fall wouldn't be my best thing. I'm going to keep the rosé and the white wine for April. So I've got 3 wines coming out. I've got a Merlot, I got a Cabernet Sauvignon, and I've got a Malbec. And I'm going to show you guys. This is my
I see it perfectly.
label.
I like it. Old school red wine.
That's my label.
Nice.
So now this one actually says red wine. So there's a little story about the reason why this says red wine. Because my Merlot is got a alcohol volume percentage under 14%. So I could call it red wine. For the ones that are 14% and above, I wasn't able to call it table wine. So I wanted to call everything table wine. So what happened was they says you can't call 14% and above table. So I had to switch the tables to the table and then red wine so the only one that's table wine is the Merlot, and the Malbec and the Cabernet is the red wine because of the alcohol content.
That's awesome. I can't wait for it to come out next week because I know I'm going to get
Thank you.
bunch of bottles, especially with Thanksgiving coming up. I can't wait. Send it out, bring it out to the family. That's going to be good. And I can't wait to see what you're going to put on your Instagram account because Joe and I mean, we follow that. So
thank you. I'm going to have fun with posting things. That's my second, thing that I'm humbled and grateful for this year. My very first thing was that on April 20th of this year, I have my own cigar. My own cigar got launched April 20th of this year. It's with the biggest ring gauge company, cigar company in the world, which is Asylum 13. And Asylum 13, I was able to pick literally my own leaf, my own blend, my own wrapper. I designed the actual wrapper with their graphic designer. I designed my box with them. So this is actually what the actual cigar looks like.
That's
beautiful. That is beautiful.
It's got my catchphrases on it, which big time Tommie on that. It's got the crown above it for the king of old school. Take it east right there. Then I've got Asylum 13, that's the cigar. And then down below on the other label, big time Tommie. And it says old school for life with the crown, with the Italian American flag. So nice. Presentation means everything. And thank you to everybody literally in the United States because they are in all 50 states. I've been sold out. I got sold out for the 4th time. And we are now waiting for more product to actually come from Nicaragua. So thank you for everybody out there that's been buying my cigars.
When did you launch that?
That came out April 20th of 2021. And that was a 7x70, which you see in my hand right now. 70 ring gauge, 7-inch. And then in June of 2021, I did so good with the 7x70s, I came out with a 6x60, which is a little bit smaller for the people that can't deal with the big ring gauge cigar. So sold out of both of those cigars, and now they are on back order because of everything that's going on with shipping and everything throughout the country. And the reason why all of our stores are low on shelves. I am low on cigars. There's literally only 2 places right now that are not even cigar stores. I've got a distributor in New Hampshire called Two Guys. I've got a place in Florida called Smoke Inn, and those guys literally have a couple of boxes left. But for all the other stores, like we have over here in Brightwaters, they have a box of like maybe 10 left. It's a 30 box, and they've got 10 left over there. And everybody else that I heard of is sold out. We've got over on Willis Avenue in Albertson, we've got Little Cigar Factory, and they have some cigars over there too. But for everybody else that's been calling me, Tommie, we want to bring them to the store. We're not having any luck with Asylum 13. They keep on telling us 2 more weeks. I'm like, thank you so much for wanting the cigars there. I'll send you guys posters, but the cigars are going to be a little while. They should be out in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Nice. That's awesome. So we have another fan, Jimmy Lee Velez of the Rotated Views podcast, which latest episode featuring Carlo and I was just dropped yesterday.
You all of a sudden, Joey, you just went from being clear to all scratchy and like this.
Yeah, I hear the popping again.
Perfect. Whatever you just
keep your head just like that, Joe.
Nope.
Don't move.
This sucks.
I hear you.
You guys are going back and forth.
So there we go. So Jimmy Lee Velez, he's another fan from the Rotated Views podcast. He's always watching your content just like Carlo and I. But
thank you, Jimmy Lee.
So Carlo.
Yeah, so big time. A little bit about, your inspiration. Tell us where, you know, your inspiration comes from for everything that you're doing and your motivation, man.
My motivation comes from life. My motivation comes from experiences that I have had in life or experiences that I have every day. See, sometimes people think like, you know, they're too old to learn or they know everything. And I literally, I, I love learning and I love to be around people that have stories. I love to listen to old timers talk about how it was and stuff. And I love listening to stories and I take things from all different people from all walks of life and I use them for my everyday, whether or not I've got to deal with somebody business wise or whether I've got to deal with somebody in a good way or a bad way that is in business flim flam people just in general. And I just all of my thoughts of the day are literally motivated by things of that have happened to me in my life, things of that have happened to me recently, or things that happened to me that day. All of a sudden, something will happen to me that day, and I'll just think about something, and all of a sudden, I'll make a video, and it might not be the day to put it on there, but I'll have it left in my phone because I know that that meant something to me what I said, and sometimes I can just be sitting there. There's a lot of times I go to the water over in Bayshore and just sit there on the water because I love the water, the sound of the water, the smell of the water, just the whole water atmosphere. And I'll sit down there by the marina with all the boats, the ferries, and everything else like that, and I'll just literally think about things and just review things that have happened to me the day before or whatever. And that's where I get a lot of inspiration for my thoughts of the day.
That's awesome. Speaking of, I agree with that completely. I also resonate with the water very well. Like it's something comforting and relaxing about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But speaking of experiences, I hate to blow your bubble right here, but I heard you were involved in a scandal in Brooklyn involving cannolis.
You broke up a little bit, but you said I was involved in what in Brooklyn with cannolis?
A scandal.
A scandal.
Yeah.
But cannolis.
What
What
kind
happened?
of scandal?
I heard that there was a cannoli eating contest in Brooklyn and that you were accused of tossing them under the table to bring your count up.
Okay, it wasn't Brooklyn, it was the Bronx. Okay.
I'm just, misinformation. I'm being fed information by he's kind of diming you out here.
It was the Bronx, and what happened was they were filming a reality show called Mama's Boys in the Bronx, and I was asked to be on that show during one of their episodes during with Giovanni Paulo and from what do you call it, from the cigar guy. Wow, now I'm having a mind blank. It'll come to me in a second. Paulie Cigars, Paulie Sylvia, from Paulie Cigars, and in the Arthur Avenue Marketplace, they have all different things in the marketplace. One of them being an Italian bakery. They had a cannoli eating contest there, and I love cannolis. I could sit down and eat 3 or 4 of them, but I never ate cannolis for speed. Because first of all, you're supposed to sit back and enjoy a cannoli. So I thought that I'd be able to do this. So here I am at the table, people on the left of me, people to the right of me, and they got a big bottle of water for everybody. I'm like, why is there water there? Not realizing that this cannoli cream literally gets stuck in your throat and does not go down, and you need the water to force everything down. But as they're filming and I'm watching everything, these guys are so worried about eating, they weren't looking at their plate. And I'm like, wow, these cannolis aren't getting off my plate. So I started taking a bite or 2 of them, and I was throwing them on the other people's plates, figuring it's a good way for me. And do you know I cheated and I still freaking lost? Yeah.
Well, so
And that
yeah,
episode appeared on TLC also.
I gotta find that one.
It was called Mama's Boys of the Bronx. It was on TLC Network, which is also owned by Discovery, and it was actually episode 4. So
Awesome.
That's cool. That was yours.
yes.
That was your show, right?
What?
That was the show that you appeared in, right? Mama's Boys of the Bronx.
You're breaking up.
Mama's Boys of the Bronx. You were on that show?
I was asked to be on that show as a guest on that show.
Yeah.
So I was on
Thomas
that show
says that it made the New York Post also.
What? Say it again.
Said it, he believes it made the New York Post also.
Oh, it did? If it did, I did not know that. I did not know that. I know that I was in a cannoli eating contest in Brooklyn. I would have remembered that, obviously. But
Yeah.
I did not know the one from the Bronx made the New York Post. Please send me the article or email me the link so I can say it.
Tommie Arcese says it came from it was on the New York Post, so he's our confidential informant here.
I don't know if it's good to be called an informant. He's just letting you know where things are.
So here we go. That was my joke. But so I'm gonna touch back on the thoughts of the day, right? So now your quotes are awesome. Yeah, I love your thoughts of the day, and I share them on my Dolce Vita Media page often. But your music selection is even better. Can you tell people why it's important to keep it old school? And
Well, my music
what
is
that means
from
to the-
a time that I wish was still here. I have a big, big love for freestyle music. Freestyle, I want to say the genre was from like 1982 to 1992. You know, it started with Shannon and Niobe, and it went into Stevie B, Sweet Sensation, Cynthia, Coro, Linnea, TKA, and just Stevie B, just to name a few of the. And I still literally have those cassettes. The Cover Girls, Expose. I still have those cassettes today. I still have those CDs today. And I still listen to that music every single day of my life. If I'm for example, next Tuesday, I'm driving to Florida. I got a big event in Jupiter, Florida, with my cigars and my wine at a big Italian feast called the Feast of Little Italy. It's in Abacoa in Jupiter. For that whole 20 hours of driving in my I bought an excursion van, a big, with beds and whatnot.
Yeah.
I call it the OS Express, the old school.
Nice.
And I still have my cassette in there, and I literally listen to freestyle music for 20 hours, and it doesn't get old. I listen to it every day, and it's music that makes you happy. It's music that literally you can understand the words. It's about falling in love. It's about breaking up. It's about hanging out. It's about going to clubs. It's about doing all the things that made people smile in life. And, there's a couple of artists out there now. There's a couple of songs out there now that are good. But for the most part, you can't understand music these days. It's so hard to understand the music. And it's just freestyle music just, to me, is just everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
A big time. Let's say so. The classic cars, man. The freestyle music, life quotes, cigars, old school way of life. Would you have it any other way?
Hell no. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'll never change. My friends tease me. Well, acquaintances tease me. My friends most of them are just like me. But even a couple of my close friends, they tell me that my calendar on my wall never literally came off of 1988. That my calendar on my wall is still from, June, July, August of 1988. And I keep reliving those days. And here I am, whatever my age is, and I still literally think that I'm back in 1988.
On my wall right now.
What do you got? What's that say?
October 1988. I have it hanging on my wall right now. That's my dad's calendar. I have it on my wall. That's funny. That's great.
There you go. And I literally, I haven't changed my wardrobe since then. It's been washed, but I haven't changed it. The only thing that's different from then till now is that because I ended up getting fat, I don't fit in my Sergio Tacchinis or my Fila jogging suits. So now I just, I wear my sleeveless shirts and my 3-stripe Adidas pants.
Nice. So far you've announced,
in the wintertime.
So far you've announced that you're releasing a wine. You got your own cigar. You've been on reality shows, all this stuff. But in 2020, you announced that you were. Oh, what is this now?
What's this?
I'm an ambassador of a vodka company called True Vodka. It's a vodka that's actually made in Italy, in Friuli, Italy. And it's incredible. It's incredible vodka. And besides from me being the ambassador of this vodka, Mike Piazza from the New York Mets. And if you're a Mets fan, there's a True Vodka Lounge in Citi Field. So True Vodka is also something that I rep, and it's an incredible, incredible vodka. I just happen to have it sitting on the counter. I don't know why, but I figured I'd let you guys know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're getting some good comments here, man.
Yeah, no, we got some people saying they're gonna play 1988 in the lottery tomorrow.
Old school music gave us joy. Yeah, that's right.
So my question is: so you've announced so far a vodka, a wine, cigars. You've been on reality shows, America's Got Talent, a whole 9 yards. But in 2020, you announced you were running for president.
I did. I did. It was kind of funny. It started off as a joke. What happened was, there was this bagel incident that happened 5 minutes from my house at a bagel place over in Bayshore with this guy. And what was happening was my video just ended up going viral, getting like 6 million hits on Twitter. And they wanted to take the bagel guy that 2 months later, his video went viral. And
they did a celebrity boxing with him too.
They wanted me to box this guy and fight him. And I said, listen, my agent tried putting all this together. And I was like, I appreciate all this. I said, first off, the guy, I don't like the way that he speaks to women. I don't like what he represents. I don't like anything about him. And I sure as shit don't want to be on the same poster or in a ring with this guy. If I'm going to beat this guy up for being a shitbag, I'd rather just do it on the street than do. But the bottom line is I didn't agree with anything or the way that guy lived. And he lived for abusing women verbally in stores, and he thought it was funny. And I just didn't want the correspondence. I didn't want the, you think of Tommie, you think of the bagel guy. I didn't want any of that. So what happened was I was hit up after I said no to all of that, after social media put him behind the table and me behind the table, almost to have a what do you call it, like a, back and forth. And it ended up getting to that celebrity boxing. And the celebrity boxing over in Atlantic City gave me a call, Tina DeVito. And Tina DeVito asked me if I would like to come with Vinny Dice, which Vinny Dice went viral on my video over in 2019, my first video that went viral, and asked if we'd like to be the ring guy for the corner, not of the angry bagel guy, but of Dustin Diamond, which is Screech on Saved by the Bell. Rest in peace. And I jumped at the chance of that because I wanted so bad for Screech to kick the shit out of this guy, and it really wouldn't be linked with me, but at least I got to see this guy beat up. So me and Vinny ended up getting to Atlantic City. It was huge. The ballroom, there was thousands of people, and as the boxing matches were going on and getting closer and getting closer, and now me and Vinny are back in the dressing room with Dustin Diamond. They keep radioing in. The bagel guy hasn't appeared yet. And what was crazy was Dwight Gooden was the what do you call it? The special referee in the ring. It was Dwight Gooden. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, it ended up to be that, oh my God, the bagel guy is live on Facebook. But he wasn't anywhere in Atlantic City. He was in East Islip sitting in a car, drinking, drunk, and all effed up in the car going, all you people that came to Atlantic City thinking that you were going to see me, I'm not there. And he never, ever showed up there. His parents were there. His sister were there. They were all upset and crying. So what they wanted was everybody was there for this major event. So they ended up having Screech, Dustin Diamond, fight somebody else, for that big match. And that was the whole thing with that. And then after that, because they put me behind the podium, they let that thing be out there, Tommie for president. And people were writing on my Instagram, Tommie, why don't you run for president? And I thought it was a goof and a joke. And all of a sudden, my guys that work on my BigTimeTommie.com, my website, ended up putting a drop-down ballot on my thing, on my website. So when people were going in there to look for Cameo or to look for my merchandise of my clothing or other stuff, or to book Vinny Dice for a DJ, or to hire me to go here, there, or wherever, the ballot, it would say, welcome to Big Time Tommie. Then all of a sudden the ballot would drop down. And do you know that I got 87,000 people that signed that thing?
Wow.
Do you realize that 87,000 legitimately puts me to be able to go in the race for, not saying that I would win, but it legitimately puts me into the race for president.
Wow.
That's well. If you've
87,000, Joey.
Wow.
87,000.
Well, if you're ever looking to run in 2024, our first guest of season 2, Brent Messer, he's the CIO of Chattanooga, Tennessee. He informed me of this little thing. You know, when you go to file your taxes, and there's that little checkbox that says you want to donate to the presidential campaign. Well, that's actually so people like you or I or Carlo can actually run for president, and it'll be funded completely.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. So your 87,000 could have got you funding to actually run.
So with all this whole thing, Fox News gets in touch with my agent, and Jesse Waters ends up saying, I would like to get Tommie to come on to Fox News. And my agent ends up calling me up, and you got to remember something. There's 3 things that you'll never hear me talk about. One's politics, the other one's religion, and the other one is, ex-girlfriends or, any kind of relationship that I may be in, not be in, or in my past, because that's none of anybody's business, that stuff. And being that I don't speak about politics, because you can never win. Whatever side you're on, somebody's going to be on the other side. And people take that shit very seriously. It's not like somebody liking the Yankees and somebody liking the Mets and still being friends. People over politics, they lose cousins and sisters and brothers. So I never talk about those things. So all of a sudden I get a phone call from my agent, and he says, hey, do you want to be on Fox News? Now, the only news I know about is Channel 5 Fox News in the morning. And I'm like, the news? I'm like, how early in the morning do I got to wake up? They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, Fox News, Channel 5. They're like, no, the Fox News. And I'm like, what's the Fox News? They're like, well, for you, I guess it would be like the ESPN of 24-hour news. And I says, well, what is it for? And they said for a segment on Waters World. Obviously, at the time, I didn't know what Waters World was, and I didn't know who Jesse Waters was. So I was like, no, no, no. I do not do fishing. I don't want to be on no fishing show, no Waters World for me. And they're like, Tommie, no. The guy's last name is Waters. His name is Jesse Waters. He's a very, very big fan of yours, and he wants to bring you on the show. And I says, would that be good for me? And they said, yes. I said, well, I'm not going to talk about, they told me that it was, with everything politics. I go, I won't talk about politics on there. He could talk to me about my videos and stuff like that. And he says, well, that's what I think that he wants to talk to you about. And he also wants to talk to you about, he saw that you were running for president of the United States. And he says, since you've never released that yet, as far as, on video yet, maybe you could announce it there. So actually, it was my very first when I was on Fox News, and on that 7-minute segment of Waters World, I announced that I was running for president of the United States. So I think that if you guys want to move forward in 2024, we got a good chance.
What'd you say, Joe? The old school party? There you go.
Old school party.
Yes. So that was one thing he did ask me. He goes, "Are you the Democratic Party or the Republican Party?" I says, "Neither." I go, "I got my own party." He goes, "What is that?" I said, "The old school party." MAOSA, Make America Old School Again.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Oh, man, it's awesome. Well, you got our vote, man.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome, man.
A lot of people don't actually really know what old school is, and it's not just the music. It's a way of life. It's the way that things were. I'm not saying that my 80s and 90s was better than anybody else's, but I do remember people having more respect for each other, people being loyal to each other, people, today, first off, it's so hard to find kids of today I hear, I'm in stores, I shop, and I see kids with their parents. I want this, I want that. No, you're going to eat in a little while. And I hear kids cursing at their parents. No, I want this. And the parents just letting them, the way that I grew up, if you answered your mother back or your father back, you got to slap. You don't talk to your mother like that. You don't talk like your father, especially in public. And these kids, not every kid, there's a lot of beautiful kids out there, but there's a lot of no respect out there. And a lot of people that, how we found out where our friends were after school, there were no beepers or cell phones. All you did was get on your bicycle and you drove down the block, and whatever house had all the bikes outside of that house, that's the house that everybody was hanging out that day.
Yeah.
People hung out on scoops. People hung out with a boombox, with a radio, and sat there for hours on the stoop and just listened to music and hung out with their friends in simpler times. And not everything was a fight or an effort or we hate them, they hate us, we hate each other. And there wasn't, listen, there's always been hate, but I got to tell you, growing up, when I grew up, I just found things so much easier and people so much willing to help other people. And today, I don't see that as much. And that's why I say that I wish that it could go back to easier times, old school days where things were a little bit more easier and more, it doesn't cost anything to smile. It doesn't cost a thing. And, you don't see as much people of today helping other people just because. And like you guys said earlier in the podcast, and believe it or not, I'm that kind of person that I'll say hello to somebody or I'll give somebody a hug that I have no idea who the hell it is and they have no idea who I am, but it just looks like, wow, that person looks very twisted. today and looks all gruntled, and you know what? And then all of a sudden, they're like, "Thank you, I needed that." And back then there was so much camaraderie, and I don't see that as much today. And that's why I say that I just wish that it could go back to the old school days and the old school ways. Not everything, but a lot of things I do like better than now.
Yep. So really quick, I want to say congratulations, but I want to do this favor for Mr. Anthony Jones and tell you that he wants you to know his daughter just graduated from the police academy today.
Okay, you're breaking up, but what I think you said was Anthony Jones, the same guy that bought the Cadillac?
Yes.
His daughter
graduated
just from the police academy?
Yes.
What's her first name?
Let's see. We'll wait for that. He didn't say that, but I'm sure he'll comment.
Congratulations. Soon. What?
I'm sure he'll say it soon, but he didn't comment that yet.
Congratulations to. And you said it was his daughter, right?
Yep. Janine.
Congratulations to your daughter, and best of luck. And graduating the police academy is something special, and you putting yourself out on the line for us being a first responder. And I always said that policemen, firemen, EMTs, these nurses, doctors, these are our true heroes. And where there's so many people today that say, "Oh, I would never be a cop today because of everything that's going on." And for the people that say, "Hey, I'm going to be a cop because I'm going to be the one to make the difference," I take my hat off to you guys and girls and say thank you. And I mean, you guys are the true heroes. Congratulations. And please, whatever you do, be safe out there. It is a jungle out there. It is crazy. Yeah. Just be safe.
Awesome.
Thank you, Anthony, to your daughter. Yeah, definitely. Hey, big time. So before we get over to these rapid fire questions, I got one other question for you here, or actually a statement. So with all that you've done, all you've accomplished, all the people you've helped throughout the years, whether you know it or not, man, personal or business, and we talked about how it makes you feel. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's trying to blaze their own trail, somebody who's trying to get out there and really make it happen? What kind of advice would you give them, man?
I know that you guys have probably heard this before from other people, so I don't want it to sound redundant and like over and over, but the most important thing in life, and listen, Rocky 1 and 2 and 3 were my inspiration watching these movies, because it was an underdog, and we all start off as underdogs. And the biggest thing in life is never to quit. No matter if people tell you that you're not big enough, you're not strong enough, you're not good enough, or you just will never become what you want, or you can't do it. First of all, when somebody tells me that I can't, I want it more. When somebody tells me that I can't, and I that's the one person that I want to jam it down their throat and prove to them that I did. And I don't even need to say it in words. It's just at the end, the smile at the end, like, yeah, and always know that if you could dream it and you believe in yourself, you could achieve it. And I always say that if you dream and believe, you can achieve. And I've always said those three things to myself. And every day, to me, I learn something new somehow, some way, and I apply it to what I use and do in life. And if anybody's out there that has a goal, or when you're younger and you write in a book and says, you want to be a baseball player, you want to be a fireman, you want to be a teacher, don't let somebody rain on your parade. Don't let somebody tell you that, nah, you shouldn't do that, or you can't do that, or fuck what people say. Do what you want to do. Be you. Don't ever let somebody tell you that you can't. And I believe in underdogs. I root for underdogs. And if you want to do something, just never, ever quit. Ever. Until you get to where you want to be. Because each and every day you are getting better. And you are striving to get where you're going. And if you never actually ever make it to the top, all that hard work that you did to get there, you're better than you were than from the day that you started.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Agreed.
And going through that process and getting there and starting from the bottom, working your way to the top. How important do you say self-inspection is on a daily basis, on a weekly basis?
You're completely right now, caller. You're completely. I missed that whole. I don't know why, but this is so scratchy.
Yeah. So self-inspection. How important do you think it is from every day, every week? How important do you think that is in success or just on a daily basis?
Self-inspection.
Yeah.
Give me your definition, please, of self-inspection, because I know what I think it is. But what are you calling self-inspection?
How do you look at yourself on a daily basis and say to yourself, I got it.
That's what I thought that you meant. Perfect. So each and every day I start my day, I look in the mirror. Obviously. I look in the mirror. But when I start my day, before I leave that bathroom, after doing everything that I got to do, I look in that mirror and I say to myself, today's going to be a great day. Today's going to be a great day. Today's going to be a great day. So now, before I even leave my house, I have that in my mind that today's going to be a great day. And I think, all of my thinking gets done when I put my head on the pillow. I reflect everything that happened that day. When I wake up in the morning and my eyes open, my feet are on the ground and I'm ready to rock and roll. And I self-reflect on what I didn't accomplish yesterday that is still in my vision today. And I just keep on moving forward. And then sometimes there's things that come up that also, and I believe in lists. I make lists for myself, and because I'll check things off as I do them. Because sometimes with all the different things that I've got going on, I'll be like, shit, today's Thursday. What do I have today? And I'll forget. So today's Wednesday. I knew I had to be somewhere. So I end up writing these things down so I could remember where I got to be, what I got to do. And I don't check those things off until I get to where I want to be. And I've got a lot of things in life that I want to accomplish. And I'm going to, each and every day, I'm going to strive for them. And I wish all the best for all of my friends. I want nothing but happiness and great things for my friends and for nice people that I meet, like you guys that have me on your show. Like, I hope that you guys have incredible lives with you and your families and your podcast from here on in. You guys are cool as hell. And I want, the best thing in life is to have positive people around you. And that's, you guys having me on your show shows me that you guys support me. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I very much appreciate that. So we got a few comments too. A lot of people. Steve Morano wanted you to know that
I
Mama
need the
Lucy.
cord for the phone. The phone's gonna die. I need a cord. I'm sorry. Steve Morano, what?
He says that Mama Lucy sends her love from Stevie Boy Productions.
Steve Morano was born in the Bronx, raised in the Bronx, now lives taking care of his Italian mom in Connecticut. Steve Morano is a very dear and close friend of mine. He is one of my biggest supporters and biggest fans. And I want to make a shout out to him and tell him thank you for, hang on guys, I'm literally putting the cord in. I want to thank him for everything that he does as far as shouting me out. And Mama Lucy is his mom. She's in her early 90s. The woman is incredible shape, looks great. God bless her. And what's up, Steve Morano?
So that's awesome. That's good to hear. Hello, Steve. Thank you for watching. You got my mom on the thing, Rita DiCarlo. She says hi, and she also says congrats to Mr. Jones's daughter as well.
And Joe, you know what she said too?
Wow.
She said when Big Time made that comment about smacking somebody when they don't respect your kids, your mom said absolutely.
Oh, I didn't want to dime her out like I did to Tommie over there. But yeah, I was on the back end of a few of those.
Same here. That's why we're here.
Yeah, and few is an understatement. But anyway,
guys, I want to show you. Not only just because I call myself old school doesn't necessarily mean that I am, but there's so many things about me that, like my wood grain paneling in the background, all the pictures on my refrigerator, literally from the 80s still. But guys, check that out. Check out that boombox.
Oh, that's a nice sight.
Nice.
Okay?
Nice.
This boombox right there is from 1985. I'm a big boombox collector. I have over 80 plus boomboxes. This is one of my babies. It's a Lasonic TRC 931. Back in the day, these things went for like $475 if you were able to find them. Today, now, if you go on eBay, they're all busted up, and the ones that are in primo condition go for thousands of dollars. And
wow.
Look, the play on my cassette still works.
Go, Joe.
Nice.
See that? I always
Yes.
have my boom boxes with me no matter where I go.
So we're gonna take a little bit of an intermission. We're gonna show a video, 2 videos. One's for Cybersecurity Month, and the other is a hip hop star, hip hop artist from Philadelphia. Just show, basically doing an uplifting tune. So stay tuned. Here we go. I think we'll start with the cybersecurity thing first. Here we go.
Yeah.
Time to get up. Yeah. Get up and be somebody. Get up and be somebody. Yeah. Rise and shine, everybody. Yeah. Get up and be somebody. Get up and be somebody. It's been a minute since I felt this way. Yeah. When the stars lined up, things going my way. Like the sun came out so the kid could play. It's been dark for a while, but I smiled each day. Puts the work in when I wanted to say, to hell with it all, but to God I pray. Give me the strength to stay strong today. To stay 10 toes down, don't bend the brakes. Don't fall victim to the storm of fate. Be untouchable like an armor plate. No weapon form should ever harm my faith. I was put in this place to be strong and great. No negativity can stall my case. Nothing you can throw would ever scar my face. I fight every day to run a righteous race and hit the finish line at a lightning pace. Rise and grind, a new day to shine, a brand new 24 to lead the past behind. Get up and be somebody. Get up and be somebody. Rise and grind, a new day to shine, a brand new 24 to lead the past behind. Get up and be somebody. Get up and be somebody. Rise and grind, a new day to shine, a brand new 24 to lead the past behind. Get up and be somebody. Get up and be somebody. Rise and grind, a new day to shine, a brand new 24 to lead the past behind. Get up and be somebody. Get up and be somebody. Yo, yeah. Every once in a while, we all wake up in a funk. But you know what I'm saying? We better get the funk out the way. And say, funk that. Funk it. We gonna get up, get out, and be somebody. Rise and grind a new day to shine, a brand new 24 to lead the past behind. Get up, be somebody. Get up, be somebody. Rise and grind a new day to shine, a brand new 24 to lead the past behind. Get up, be somebody. Get up, be somebody. Rise and grind a new day to shine, a brand new 24 to lead the past behind. Get up, be somebody. Get up, be somebody. Rise and grind a new day to shine, a brand new 24 to lead the past behind. Get up, be somebody.
Somebody, get up and be somebody. You are somebody. Say, I am somebody. Somebody. Say, I am somebody. Somebody. I am somebody.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Invest 360. That was first the cybersecurity from our Armor Cybersecurity for Cybersecurity Month. And then we had Supreme de Resurrecta from Philadelphia singing Rise and Grind. So that leads us to the rapid fire questions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
So here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Favorite classic car, model, and year?
1985 triple white Eldorado Baritz convertible. Only 2,300 made in 1985. My favorite car. And also I've got another one, 1957 and 1958 Eldorado Brougham. 701 made of those cars in that year. And those cars were made in Turin, Italy. And those are very, very rare. And one day, that is my goal to own one of those cars. I have the 85 Eldorado convertible, though.
What's your favorite muscle car?
Oh, God. 1979 Pontiac Trans Am Smokey and the Bandit edition.
Yeah.
All right. Now this is the one that's going to get you in a little bit of trouble, all right?
Okay.
Who is the real king of freestyle?
Oh, that's
Stevie B, George Lamond, Johnny O is trying to make claim to it now. What's going on?
Stevie B is the undisputed king of freestyle. George Lamond is the prince of freestyle. But Stevie B definitely is the king of freestyle.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So that being said, what about the queen? Is it Lisa? Maybe Lisette Melendez, Lil Susie? Who
None of them. Judy Torres.
None of them.
Judy Torres.
Judy
All
Torres
right.
is the queen of freestyle. And
All
Cynthia is definitely the princess of freestyle.
So wait, so not Lisa at all.
Lisa's good. Lisa's good. She's not Judy Torres, and Judy Torres is definitely the queen of freestyle.
Well, shout out to Judy Torres.
Yep, shout out to Judy Torres.
Yeah.
I see. I would go the route of saying freestyle is like Disney princesses. There's a million of them.
That's good.
So, all right, here we go. What's better, Trenton tomato pie, Brooklyn, or Chicago deep dish?
Brooklyn all the way. Brooklyn all the way.
I didn't expect any less, but
Really, come on. That wasn't even a question that should have been asked.
I mean, I knew where it was going to go, but, you know, I have to represent the Trenton tomato pie regardless. Until you had De Lorenzo's.
You come from there, so I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And that's why I got it. So
That's it.
But, all right, favorite local restaurant, past or present?
Oh, boy. Due to me not wanting to I have my favorites, but if I were to right now say my favorite, I would stop being fed by the ones I didn't mention. So I'm going to say no comment on that one.
He pleads the fifth on grounds that may incriminate him in the future.
That's it.
All right. So
I do have favorite restaurants for different things. Like my favorite rice bowls here, my favorite hero is there, my favorite steak is there, my favorite, pasta is there. So I have different places for different things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me turn that around for a second. So here we go. This is something that it's controversial. So is it sauce or is it gravy?
Come on, Joey. Really? Really? It's sauce and always will be sauce.
Thank you.
Always will be sauce. Gravy belongs on turkey, meatloaf, which Italians don't eat meatloaf.
No.
I mean, I hate that people argue over sauce and gravy.
I do
I
too.
mean, there's not even the word gravy in Italian. There's no word for gravy in Italian.
I think it was one episode of The Sopranos, like when they were in Italy, the guy was like, "Gay stu gravy."
Che cazzo è questo gravy?
Stu gravy. But all right. Favorite place to get coffee? Are you a coffee drinker?
I actually don't drink coffee. No.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm a water guy. Water, lemonade, iced tea, Gatorade. But I do not drink coffee.
All right. I don't know if you watch football. Favorite NFL team?
The Giants.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Where's your cowboy hat tonight, Joe?
I left it in the room.
You know, I really now I had to pick a team, and I've always been there's the Jets, the Giants, and the Buffalo Bills. I am a Giant fan only by name. I really don't watch football. I'm a diehard Yankee. My tattoo there. I'm a big Yankee fan. I'm a big baseball fan. So I am a big Yankee fan. Diehard Yankee fan.
Awesome. So I'm not sure about New York if it's gotten there, but is it called pork roll or Taylor ham?
I don't even know what the hell that shit is. What is that?
Right, there you go. It's a breakfast meat.
There
What
you
is
go.
it?
It's a breakfast meat.
So here we have pork roll, like a pork roll, egg, and cheese.
And
No?
you guys eat that over in Trenton?
Yeah.
It's
got
like a staple.
Staple
you get
over
people
here.
who are trying to like have it shipped to them across the country. That's how
We got
like,
pork roll sandwiches. Pork roll and cheese sandwich. Oh man.
What?
It's
You
good.
guys are only 3 hours from me. How could food be so different?
It's crazy.
it's look. I'm telling you.
I swear to
one
God,
day
I never even heard of that before.
All right, so we're gonna do a meetup one day, and we're gonna bring you here so you can try the Trenton tomato pie, and also so you can try the staple, which is pork roll.
Pork roll.
Yes,
Pork roll.
So it's just a roll of pork.
It's so
Cut nice. Cut it up. Put it in a nice bun.
Isn't that what they call ham?
Oh no. That's like sauce and gravy. Sauce and gravy.
Oh, I don't know, only because I never heard of it.
Yeah.
No, I know.
I'm gonna have to
this
try it,
argument.
guys.
This
Gotta try
argument for whether it's called pork roll or Taylor ham is like the sauce and gravy.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like what's better, Pat's or Geno's in Philadelphia.
Right.
That's so. I don't know what it is about us East Coasters. We're always arguing. So
All the time. It's healthy though. It's a healthy argument. Come on.
So all right. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but it's Trenton, New Jersey, South Jersey, North Jersey, or Central Jersey?
Ask that question again.
Trenton, is it North, South, or Central Jersey?
How the hell do I know that? I just know it's the capital of Jersey. I know that.
So there's also the argument, because we're always arguing in Jersey.
It is the capital, right?
Yeah, it is the capital.
Yeah.
On where it is or where it's located. Some people think that the Central Jersey is a make-believe place that doesn't exist. And Trenton should be considered South Jersey. But hey. All right.
So let me ask you this question.
Go for it.
I've been in Trenton twice.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but from the Verrazano Bridge, how long does it take you to get from Trenton to the Verrazano Bridge?
Probably about an hour.
Hour.
Oh, so it takes me 2.5 hours from there to get to Seaside Heights, which
Right.
isn't that considered South Jersey?
No,
No,
What is that considered?
that's like
that's east. I mean, you're on east.
that's like northeast, right? Northeast of Jersey,
Yeah, because South Jersey, we're considering like
Atlantic City,
City, Cape May. That's south.
Oh yeah, Atlantic City is
Right.
south.
okay.
South.
Because I know that
Yep.
I passed the Trenton sign
Yep.
when I go to Florida, and when I go to Atlantic City, I pass the sign that says Trenton.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like basically getting onto either Route 1 or 95. That like where you would continue to go south.
Right.
Well, it's definitely the capital of Jersey.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
All right. So here's a question. Favorite mob movie: Casino, Goodfellas, or The Godfather?
The Godfather.
All right. A
Nice.
particular Godfather, or like 1, 2, or 3, or just the whole series?
You know what? I know a lot of people say that they don't like Godfather 3. I get it, but it was definitely part, the trilogy. But Godfather 1 and 2 is definitely better than 3.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So favorite book?
Wow. Favorite book. I don't have a favorite, but anything that has to do with Italian history, with Yankee history, or with Joe DiMaggio, because he was, one of my favorite guys growing up. Not that I ever watched him on TV, but I always heard my uncles and my, relatives talking about him growing up. So anything to do with those genres, I will grab and read.
All right. So that was our last rapid fire question. So what I would like to do is say thank you, Big Time Tommie, for coming on. It was a pleasure. You literally are larger than life as far as this was everything more than I had hoped for. I appreciate you coming on, but we definitely have to link up. As soon as I hear that the cigars are done being back ordered, I'll be reaching out and hopefully getting some of that wine too.
Thank you so much, guys. Carlo, Joey, Carlo. Thank you very much for having me on episode 1 of season 2. Right? This is episode 1.
No. This is not episode 1. This is we are about like a few, you're in deep on the episodes that we've had season 2.
But this is season 2 though.
Yes.
Season 2.
Thank you for having me on your season 2 of this show.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and thank you for supporting me. I support you guys, and hopefully we can link up, and I could taste whatever this pork thing is that you're talking about, and you guys smoke some of my cigars.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to do that. Drink some of the wine. And you know what we didn't ask though? Where's that the wine? Where's it going to be available?
Where is it going to be? It's going to be available on BigTimeTommie.com, but it's also going to be in liquor stores throughout the United States. But if there's a favorite liquor store of anybody that's listening in your town or somewhere around you that didn't hear about it, it doesn't have it, all they got to do is just ask for them to get it. It will be at the distributors, and it'll be ready to rock and roll in your neighborhood.
That's awesome.
For whatever reason your guy isn't about that, just go on BigTimeTommie.com.
That's it. We're making it happen here in Central Jersey for Big Time. That wine's coming.
That wine's coming. So
Central Jersey in the house.
So here we go, everyone. Thank you for Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. All the nice people that we're meeting today that commented, saying and we appreciate you saying great show. Thank you. You can find us on Facebook.com at Invest360. You can find Carlo at Vitality Inspections. You can find me at Dolce Vita Media on Instagram. And most of all, find Happy Smiles as well. We are always accepting donations to help people. It's the backbone nonprofit that helps Invest360 go on and also helps people in need. And thank you all. Stay tuned. We'll be having amazing guests come on as well. I think the 2nd and 3rd week of November. We have 1st, 2nd, and 3rd week, I think, right?
Yep. First, 2nd, and 3rd week.
Yep, we will be having a professor. We'll be having a former cop who does safety instruction for, weapons, and none other than
Who do we got?
Juan Cotto the week of Thanksgiving.
From
So,
Bronx Tale. Yep.
from Bronx Tale. So
Yeah.
we
Nice.
stay tuned, and we will we'll be having all that out there too. So thank you all for joining. Big time. Thank you for stay on after I end the broadcast. And
Thank you, everybody out there, and thank you to you guys at Dolce Vita Media.
Thank you, everyone.
Dolce Vita right on my wrist.
There you go. Sweet life, baby.
I love it.
Right there.
Dolce Vita.
Take care.
Thank you.